Superb. So the session that we are going to have today is all about asking questions with that matter. So the art and science of asking questions. When I think of art and science of asking questions, what comes to your mind? I would listen to each one of you. What comes to your mind when you think about this? That art and science of asking questions. What is so special about art and science of asking questions?
Though questioning is a part of conversation and interaction, when we talk in terms of professionalism, do we ask relevant questions which will, dig out the answers and give us a new perspective? I think that is the art, and that is also the science.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, Manisha, आपको क्या लगता है? What is art and science of asking questions?
जो पूछना चाह रहे हैं उसको प्रॉपर वर्ड्स में पूछ लिया जाए।
Nice way.
सामने वाले को समझ आ जाए कि पूछना क्या चाह रहे हैं।
In the last session, when we are talking about meta model, so let us revisit meta model, and then we take the conversation from there. Yeah, Vinay, what is your take about science and art of asking questions? What it could be all about?
Okay. Well, I think I always believe, like when you are attending any session, we should have some background study, if possible, if you can. But normally, for me, that's personal, I should say. I look at the flow of the meeting or the seminar conference, what's happening across, and I try to understand the logic behind what they want to interpret. And further, some queries which are raised in my mind, I do ask in case, even if they are smaller ones, but I try to relate across to this topic and try to, present myself on that. To be specific, I do ask questions at little later. If there are 5 questions are being asked, I may be the 4th or 5th person to understand what's exactly the logic behind the answering the questions as well. Because sometimes I don't want to say that I want to become fool or something, but then I really want to ask the genuine question, which will really, educate others as well. And presentation, yes, that's more important.
Super. Excellent. So let me share the screen and here we go. So can you see my screen?
But yeah, now we can.
Yeah.
All right. So the topic that we are discussing today is art and science of asking questions. And if you see the screen, we are talking about NLP Meta model, something we discussed in our last session. And in NLP Meta model is all about DDG, deletion, distortion, and generalization. The information which comes to us, we delete a big chunk of it, then we distort some part of it. Distort means we connect it with all the knowledge that we have to get an idea of what is being said or what is being talked about. And sometimes we also generalize some part of it, where we use words like always, never, or ly words like generally, usually. Yeah. So normally that is what we do every time we are in a conversation with anybody, including self. Okay. So what is important here is to ask the relevant questions so that we actually get to the source of it. If you remember that cash register story, where we had a story and we just did a small kind of activity to figure out actually what happened. So let us take it from there. This is who I am, who is going to take this session for you. I'm a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner. I'm a certified corporate trainer from IIT Roorkee. I'm a keynote speaker, mindset trainer, and a self-empowerment and resilience coach. And what is neuro-linguistic programming? It's a journey from self-limiting beliefs to infinite excellence in all areas of life through effective communication skills, personal development, and psychotherapy. As a concept, NLP first appeared in the book, The Structure of Magic, by Richard Bandler and John Grinder, published in 1975. So we will be doing a breakout room activity now. Since we are only few of us, so we will avoid it for now. But the activity that we'll be doing is something like this. So one of you will share one thing about yourself that is really bothering you. Others' job is to listen carefully and ask the appropriate questions to collect more accurate information from him or her and figure out what actually happened. And repeat this activity once with every participant for 90 seconds each. Right? So can we do that right now? So three of us, like three of you, we just continue the activity and I'll just be there as a spectator. So you see the screen, you know what to do, right? One of you will share one thing about yourself that is really bothering you. Others' job is to listen carefully and ask the appropriate questions to collect more accurate information from him or her and figure out what actually happened. Repeat this activity once with every participant for 90 seconds. All right. So you guys go ahead.
Yeah, so the senior most like Vinay would have more things to share in terms of what is bothering.
Okay, fine. Just hold on, please. Am I audible or?
Yes, you are.
Okay, fine. So, maybe in one line I can really summarize what is bothering me is that the world has become more materialistic, you know. So people don't really respect people views, etc. One has to really, keep asking a lot of things, and which is a kind of a, one has to really sit outer kind of a layer to show or protect their
So
presence,
as
which is really bothering me. Hello.
uh-huh.
Yep. And that's not the way we were brought up in our life, so that's why it is more bothering. Maybe I'm 56, so I had to really go back to my what I learned as a culture and values, and now what's happening. That's something which is there. That's it. Though I don't care for it, but still, be bothering.
How can you not care and then say it is still bothering you? Either you care a lot or it doesn't bother you.
See, what happens?
The two are contradictory. If I don't care for something, then it doesn't bother me. But when I'm greatly interested as to why it is there, then it bothers you. So why do
Agree.
you have these contradictory ideas?
No, yeah, what you say is correct because when it bothers, then only you come to some kind of decision whether I should really keep, you know, that particular thing should keep bothering me and I dilute myself, or whether I should ignore, or I become stubborn to that extent, or I overcome.
Exactly,
So
exactly,
I don't do the
exactly.
second phase of overcoming, but still the question remains in mind. So it's like, out of 10 people, getting a single person also of this kind of mindset is not there nowadays, and that was not in the previous possibly generation. Possibly it was not there.
So the world is evolving. Is the world
Absolutely.
evolving? What do you call it?
It's evolving somewhat different direction. People are losing the faith on the culture and values, or may not be. They are just taking shelter when they need it, and that's the way it happening. And that is that is something shouldn't happen for any kind of civilizations. Because then one has to really
So
understand
do you think
if
you
it
should?
goes.
So what do you do to retain that culture of
Okay, yeah,
which
that's
you
something
had,
which is
or
very important.
values?
Absolutely, yeah. So anyway, when you talk about something which is missing, definitely one has to take steps towards it. And then to be very specific on my personal ground, well, I have my smaller one is old age home and one is a child where I take care of some of the old age people. There are just 9 people in that, and the children home is around 60 people, 61 people, 61 kids actually say. So there I try to make a kind of a balancing, because the old age is old age, is not really like XYZ status, it's old age factor. So I do take care, and I think there I give kind of a, I would say justice, but some little contribution towards it. And that gives me a kind of satisfaction at that level that, well, let the world change. We won't change. We will try to respect whatever you can. Yeah, that's it. But this is again something which is done a very smaller contribution, as no contribution, but still the entire canvas is still in the same direction. I've been to in other countries and I've seen the similar kind of culture is happening. It's really changed. Yeah, people have become more practical. They really don't care for these things. A small example, okay, nowadays,
Yeah, time up. Second person.
Okay, fine. Okay.
90 seconds per person.
Okay, sorry for that.
And other's job is only to ask questions, not to say
Okay.
anything else. Only
Okay.
asking questions for more information, for more clarity.
Manisha's turn.
Yeah, so who is next?
Well, you want us to share some incident which is bothering?
Just take one thing which is bothering you. It may not be something that serious. Anything that bothers you.
Oh, well, I don't know. I need to really think what bothers me. Actually, nothing bothers me, frankly, to tell you. Not with such gravity as to put it in front of a class and allow others to just ask me questions. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, others ask her questions.
Manish.
मैम मुझे तो वो ना हर वक्त कुछ ना कुछ बॉदर करता रहता है. आई एम ओवर थिंकर. मेरे को तो अभी से ये बॉदरेशन हो रही है कि कल मुझे अपनी बेटियों के कान पियर्स कराने हैं. तो मुझे अभी से लग रहा है कि कल क्या होगा, वो करा
कुछ नहीं
लेंगे.
होगा. Why should it bother you? If you go to a good doctor, it's done properly.
तो 2-3 months तक वो उसके ना कान पकते रहे, हील नहीं हुए. तो मुझे अल्टीमेटली निकालने पड़े. अब उस बातों को 2-3 साल हो गए हैं.
No, ma'am, go to a good doctor. Nothing, everything is taken care of. The world has evolved so much. Science has evolved so much that this is a very small issue.
हाँ, मुझे फिर भी ऐसे बॉदरेशन हो जाती है.
Because it's you're living at the emotional level.
हाँ, ये हो सकता है.
So learn to, what shall I say, trust doctors. Learn to have faith in medicine. When we don't have faith, I think it causes anxiety. Even when people go to doctors, they go to a second doctor and ask for second opinion. Very wrong. If you don't trust the first doctor, don't go to the first doctor at all.
Quick. Okay, so how many of you noticed that instead of asking questions, you are giving advice?
No, I'm not
You're
giving advice.
ready to give advice. You're always ready to share from your own experience. कैसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा करके देख सकते हो, ऐसा नहीं करके देख सकते हो.
Okay. So I should just put that in a question form. The same thing. The format can change, no?
Questions, not to say anything else.
No,
Yeah, I get
sense.
it. So that means what I'm saying is it could be just reformulated into a question form.
Okay, well, I'm coming back to the screen again. So let's come back to the screen again. So the activity was, one of you share one thing about yourself that is really bothering you. Something about yourself which is really bothering you. Others' job is to listen carefully and ask appropriate questions to collect more accurate information from him or her and figure out what actually happened.
Sorry.
And this listen carefully was in bold. It was in quotes. To collect more accurate information from him or her and figure out what actually happened.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. And don't need to say sorry. This is you and I are like that. That's why we are human beings.
All are learning.
All right, good. Let's carry on. So you notice that how many things that we delete. This information was deleted completely. That listen carefully. And that information got deleted. We didn't even collect that information, though it was there, but we didn't pay enough attention to what is being said. Deletion. Then distortion. Instead of asking appropriate questions, we are giving appropriate advice. And we are thinking that जो मेरे लिए काम किया, जो advice मैं देने जा रहा हूँ, ये सबके लिए काम करना चाहिए. That is the generalization about it. So we missed out on this entire activity of number 2. Listen carefully and ask the appropriate questions to collect more accurate information from the other person and figure out what actually happened. वो बंदा क्यों इसको लेके bother कर रहा है? What actually happened? All right, good. Let's carry on. So, what is meta model in NLP? It's a linguistic model developed by Richard Bandler and John Grinder, जो प्रवक्ता है NLP के, which enables you to ask questions for clarity in communication with self as well as others. A linguistic model developed by Richard Bandler and John Grinder, which enables you to ask questions for clarity in communication with self as well as others. The process helps you to recover deletions, the information which actually got deleted, to recover that, to correct distortions, what that person is comparing with. Distortion are all comparisons. So what that person is comparing with and coming out with his or her own views, and then challenge the generalizations. That what makes you think that this is applicable to one and all? Many times when we talk, we use the word we use the word our, as if that whatever I am saying, it is applicable to everybody, including me, or maybe sometimes even excluding me. We use words like we use words like our. Even I am also using. I am also saying the same thing. We use. How do I know that you three are also using the same thing? Around generalizing. In the way we process information. The process helps you to recover deletions, correct distortions, and channel generalizations in the way we process information, leading you to achieve significantly better results in many areas of your life. That's what the meta model is all about in neuro-linguistic programming. And the magic of life begins from here. This is where the magic of life begins. Watch this picture carefully. This is what we discussed in our last session also, that reality is something and what somebody is talking about is the map. So what happened, that was the reality. You perceive the reality using your own senses. Your senses are the constraints that you have. So you are not getting the complete information which is there in reality. So you and I, what we are doing, we are perceiving based on the experiences that we have. And then we understand it in our own way, applying the filters. These filters are the deletion, distortion, and generalization. We're applying these filters to understand that in our own way. So something happened in reality, we use our 5 senses to get an idea of what happened. Then we understand it, and then we pass it through the filters. And once we pass it through the filter, we store it in our brain as a map. And then we share about that map using our own words. And naturally, this map is not equal to what actually happened. So metamodal questions is a simple questioning technique that prompts the speaker to explore and clarify their mental maps. So when we ask questions for clarity, what happens? The speaker is prompted to explore and clarify their mental maps. Unko kya samajh mein aaya? What they got out of that reality. We help them to connect that and get more information from them. Recover and confront information they may be hiding, avoiding, or forgetting. That is where we use NLP, meta models, to get more information out of whatever they might be hiding, avoiding, or forgetting. and to recheck their assumptions and generalizations. So they assume that this is like this, and based on that assumption, they are talking whatever they are talking. So we have to ensure, we can ensure while asking these questions, that is it exactly what they're saying is their assumption and generalization, or is it something that actually happened? So we can figure out what they assumed out of something which happened, how they generalized it. Okay. Now, key benefits of meta model. First is, the best is this is what I consider the best thing, is asking relevant questions based on the speaker's language instead of understanding their content. Whatever that person is saying, instead of understanding what they're saying, we are asking relevant questions based on the language that they're using to express what they want to express their experience. You remember we talked about the structure of communication, where we talked about there are 3 layers of communication. The first one is exactly what happened, the reference structure. Followed by the deep structure, your own understanding about that event, your own perception. Then comes the surface structure, where you are explaining your perception. And the surface structure is most of the time hardly 5% of what actually happened. What actually happened, whatever you perceived, you are sharing your perception using the words that you have, by making some kind of connection to those words to put your expression out, to put your expression, to put your experience, to share your experience with others. Eventually, what you share is hardly 5% of what actually happened. And imagine when you are sharing 5% of what actually happened, and other person is listening to you. For that person, your 5% is his 100% or her 100%. So they make another perception out of whatever you are sharing. And when they share it with somebody else, they share 5% of your 5% that you shared. Can you imagine that? That when the same information goes to 3-4 steps, when the 5th person hears about it, probably he's not getting any information which actually happened. That's why the purpose of asking the questions comes up. Asking relevant questions based on the speaker's language instead of understanding their content. Like somebody said that, this is what I got to know, that this is what happened. Ask them, how do you know that? So that person may say, I just heard. Okay. So whom did you heard it from? So they will say, I heard it from. Or do you really believe what that person says all the time? That, no, I don't believe every time. So have you clarified this? Did you ask that person, where did he get this information from? No, I didn't do that. So these are all asking relevant questions, and then you can tell the same person, okay, talk to me only when you have the correct information. Otherwise, don't share such things with me. So that way you can save your time, you can save other person's time. Then empowering yourself to get much more accurate information and dig out the hidden challenges and opportunities. A person is coming out with something that is bothering him, and there could be some challenges or opportunities lying there hidden. That person may be knowing, may not be knowing. However, we can ask them. So we are asking relevant questions. We can help them to connect to those challenges and opportunities. Not only for us, we can do it for others also. Stopping others from over-influencing you. Maintain rapport while neither agreeing or disagreeing with what they say. So you are not allowing somebody to influence you. Instead, you are maintaining rapport while not either agreeing, not even disagreeing with what they say. Because you are digging out information, you want to know what's the reality. Developing effective strategies and models and come up with significantly better solutions and outcomes. This is also possible. You have people working under you. They are dealing with the situation, the project at ground level. You are probably just managing the show. So you do not know what is happening at the ground level, and they come back to you, they say that, sir, there's a problem, or ma'am, there's a problem. And whatever they say, when you ask relevant questions, you actually get to know that within that problem, what are they saying at problem? What are the challenges or what are the opportunities you have? You can tell the same person, yeah, I can understand that there are these challenges, but what are the opportunities do we have? इसमें हमारे लिए opportunity क्या है बताओ? The moment you ask the question, you'll see that the person is not talking in a different stage altogether. Now that person is coming with more things to promote or to prove his points that this is how we can take advantage of the opportunities. Instead of saying that what was the problem. Significantly improving your ability to ask questions that can create unprecedented breakthroughs in your life and others. This is the most significant output when you learn the art and science of asking the relevant questions. In fact, asking questions itself is an art. So significantly improving your ability to ask questions that can create unprecedented breakthroughs in your life and others.
Thank you.
Yes, NLP is all about asking questions. It is not about giving any advice or giving any suggestions for that matter.
Sorry.
Asking questions.
Sorry.
No, I don't need to be sorry. See, this is how you and I are. This is how human beings are designed. Nothing wrong with that.
Can you share all this? This seems to be very, what shall I say, magical, revealing, and relevant, of course. But can you share it with one incident? So all what you have been trying to share with us or tell us or bring it to our notice will have a more realistic and pertinent
Yeah, I'm coming there.
aspect.
I'm coming there. It's a very good question. In fact, this is the question which is bothering you right now. So when you say that nothing is bothering me, you first need to ask yourself, what is really that one thing which is bothering you? So many things are bothering us throughout the day. We don't even notice them. 95% of the things we don't even notice they are bothering us. They're bothering you and me. That's why I did that session on writing down. What are the things that are bothering you? If you keep on writing them down, you will be free from them. Okay, so these are the key benefits of meta model. All right, let's take it further. Typical meta model questions. What kind of questions that you and I can ask typically to get to the source of what actually happened? This is the first one, like asking how, what, when, where, who specifically. So when someone is saying something, you can actually ask the questions like how, or what, or when, where. These are the starting points. Who specifically? Like if somebody tells you that I'm really finding it very difficult to live with my family members. हो सकता है. You can ask them who specifically. Yeah. Or you can ask them how, what is happening. So this is the first question that we can ask. Who says and according to whom? This is the second question. When people are generalizing things, or like even when somebody says that I am really bothered about this, you can ask that same person who says and according to whom. Somebody can say that I'm not good enough to do this activity. So you ask that person who says, according to whom. If something happened, maybe that happened repeatedly. Maybe similar incidents happen repeatedly, and this person is connecting the dots with all those repeated actions, repeated events, and the title of those repeated events, the story, the title of those repeated stories are I am not good enough to speak in English, for example. Yeah. Then comes the generalization question. Many times you'll find people, they are saying that people say, log ऐसे बोलते हैं. So you can ask everybody. हर कोई ऐसा बोलता है. Always, हमेशा. Yeah. Or maybe somebody is saying something with never. I never did this. So you ask that was never. You never tried this? Or people often say, nobody does that. Pizza mein bangan? क्या बात कर रहे हो? So nobody, you can ask actually, nobody? Are you so sure? Or maybe somebody would say, nothing is better than this, or nothing is worse than this. You ask nothing? See, one word is good enough to ask the relevant question. You really do not need a complete sentence to ask a relevant question. Just catching the word that is bothering that person. Maybe not that entire statement is bothering that person. Maybe that one word is bothering that person. You just catch that word. That's why listen carefully. All, no one. These are also part of generalization. Many times you and I use these words, all, but no one does this. So you can ask no one. Are you so sure? From there, things starts happening. From there, the turning point starts taking place. You help not only yourself, but the other person to create a turning point in life. अभी तक वो इसी रास्ते में चल रहा था. अभी तक whatever that person was saying, that I am not good at this or I can't do this, it was a permanent tense for that person. Past में भी ऐसा था, अभी भी ऐसा ही है, future में भी ऐसा ही रहेगा. Now asking such questions, what you can do, you can create a permanent, you can stop that permanent tense and you can put it back to the past and create a turning point in life for the other person, including you. There are many such things which you also say. The people are like that. मैं जिस सोसाइटी में रहता हूँ वहां पे लोग ऐसे ही, सारे दुकानदार ऐसे ही होते हैं, सारे सेल्समैन ऐसे ही होते हैं, सारे बैंकर्स ऐसे ही होते हैं, सारे सीएस ऐसे ही होते हैं, है ना, सारे हाउस वाइफ्स ऐसे ही होते हैं, सारे इन लॉज ऐसे ही होते हैं. All now. So you can ask these questions followed by what do you mean by that? Very important question. Whatever the other person is saying, whatever, if you need more clarity, instead of you making assumption, you remember we talked about assumption as ASSUME. What assume is means, assume is all about. ASSUME means making an ass of you and me. So whenever you and I make an assumptions of whatever being said, though we do it, we can't stop ourselves because assumption is our nature. So, but every time we do that, no matter what, we are always making an ass of self as well as the other person. So it's okay, you are making assumptions. If you want to confirm your assumption, चलो मैं जो assume कर रहा हूँ क्या ये correct है? To confirm your assumption, the best question that you ask is, what do you mean by that? You know, like someone is saying that now I am at 56. 3 times he used this statement. Now I am at 56. So you are at 56, I believe 55 in next 3 months. So what do you mean by that? Asking that question instead of making any assumption. So I can make an assumption. If I am going to be 55, it's only a matter of difference of 1 year. So what's the big deal? Instead of thinking that way, if I am a good NLP practitioner, if I'm a smart NLP practitioner, if I am really concerned about the other person to make the best of his life at every moment, the best thing that I can give that other person is asking a question, what do you mean by that? All right. Followed by compared to whom? Compared to what? So when someone is saying that I'm not good at this, You can ask that person immediately. Compared to whom? किसके कंपैरिजन में आपको ऐसा लगता है कि you are not good at this? Compared to what? On what basis? What makes you think so? How do you know? Combination of these questions are just good enough. That's why the meta model is all about not to focus on what the other person is saying. आपको understand करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप उसके language पे ध्यान दो. Understand उसको करने की जरूरत है. वो तो already understand करके जो बता रहा है आपको बता रहा है. Your job is to help the other person to come out of his or her confusions. But in the process, you need to come out of your confusion first, because every time you are making an assumption of whatever the other person is saying, it's your confusion. So for the sake of clarity, the best gift that you can give not only to yourself, but also to the other person is by asking all relevant questions. And these are questions that you can ask in any situation. These are all situation independent questions. What stops you? How do you stop yourself? What would happen if you could do it anyway? मान के चलिए कोई बोलता I can't do this, मेरे लिए पॉसिबल नहीं है, मैंने बहुत कोशिश करके देखी, डिडंट वर्क. मान लो एक बार आपने और तरीके से इसको कोशिश की और ये हो गया. व्हाट वुड हैपन इफ यू कुड डू इट एनीवे? कितना भी कोशिश कर लो. थॉमस अल्वा एडिसन 10,000 बार कोशिश किया था बल्ब बनाने के लिए. तो he said every time I failed, I learned what not to do. आपने कितनी बार कोशिश की? What stops you trying it another time, one more time, with more information, with the correct way of doing it? What would happen if you do? What can happen if you don't? What would happen if you do? क्या होगा? What can happen if you don't? Depending on, अगर वो कहेगा I don't do this, then you can ask the do वाला question, and the person say I always do this. What can happen if you don't? I always obey my in-laws. What can happen if you don't? एक बार करोगे तो क्या होगा?
Yeah, like they always say, what will happen if you eat it once?
Yeah. And this is the most important one. जब कोई बोल रहा है उसको बोलने दो, उसको पूछते जाओ, and what else? Tell me more. This first one and the last, in fact, this last questions, this and what else? I call it AWE, AWE, awe. Short form of and what else is awe. And what else? Tell me more. What you can also do when that other person is coming out from his or her limitations, what you can do? You can ask these questions, and what else? And what else? उससे क्या होगा? उसके अंदर के जो भी चीज छुपा हुआ था वो धीरे धीरे बाहर आना शुरू होता है. And the person feels, yes, I can do it. मेरे लिए possible है. And what else is possible? Often I ask a question whenever I share any, when I talk to anybody for consultations, I ask this question, that with this new awareness, because whatever I'm sharing is a new awareness for you. Whatever you are also saying may be new awareness for you as well, because they are all there whichever you didn't notice. So with this new awareness, what do you see possible for yourself now? So this is a kind of a patent question. Like if you ask this question to anybody who has taken my sessions, they will tell you, क्या आप भी पिनाकी का सेशन अटेंड करते हो? ये सवाल वही पूछता है. So like all these questions that are in front of you, with this new awareness, what do you see possible for yourself? If I ask this question to each one of you, what would be your answer? I just want to listen to this answer. Let's come back to the session once again. So what we have to do is, let me share the slide once again. This slide is very, very critical. Like this is where you learn the art of asking questions, which works wonders. If you talk about this is just a starting point, but the starting point itself is very, very powerful. If you just practice it for some time, maybe over a week, over a month, you will find miracles happening in your life. You can start with asking questions to yourself only. And these are the questions. I'll share it. I'll share this screenshot with you. These are the questions that makes all the difference. Many times, like as I said, NLP is a journey from confusion to clarity in all areas of your life. To move on that journey from confusion to clarity, you first need to figure out what are you confused about. Many times you don't even know that. You're not even aware that what you and I are confused about. Many times. So when you are writing those things which are bothering you, you can ask these questions to yourself. Write down exactly what is bothering you. Put it in writing format so that you know the kind of words that you are using to communicate with yourself. And once those words are there, you pick up those words, which are the ones which are bothering you, not the entire sentence. The entire sentence is not bothering you. It's those words that are bothering you. Identify those words based on these questions, and then ask yourself that question. What do I mean by this? Start working on yourself. Once you start working on yourself, you know how it works. You can go ahead and start working on others. Start with one-on-one. You don't need to work in a group. Start with one-on-one. धीरे धीरे you will become an expert in asking questions. It's all about asking questions. किसी और को सोच में मजबूर करेगा कि पिनाकी क्या बोल रहा है, इससे मेरे लिए क्या है, what message I am getting. This is what is possible. All right. So we can have another activity, which is a second activity, breakout room activity, where it is almost similar. The activity that we did before this is almost similar. It's like one of you will share one thing about yourself that is really bothering you. It is something which is really bothering you. And other's job is to listen carefully. Now actually listen carefully, which you didn't do last time, and ask relevant meta model questions to collect more accurate information and pinpoint the reality, what actually happened. So you are asking the other person instead of you assuming what actually happened. Okay, and continue this activity only for 90 seconds per participant. Stick there, don't take it beyond that. Okay, so we are 5 of us. I will create 2 breakout rooms with 2 participants so that we can complete this entire activity in 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. All right. So you are clear what to be done, right? Absolutely clear. If you have any question, you can ask me before I take it further. Or let me share it once again. You can take a screenshot also.
Yes, it will be good if we can take screenshot.
Yeah. The second question is the most important one. Others' job is to listen carefully and ask the relevant meta model questions to collect more accurate information and pinpoint the reality, what actually happened. Okay, so this is the screenshot of the meta model questions. I'm just sharing it. You take a screenshot. Okay, done. So you're not going to give any advice, give any suggestion to anybody. Oh, we are only three of us. I believe there is nobody else. Okay, let's start. Let's don't get into any breakout room. So, Pallavi, you start. So I will just listen to you.
So let Krish start first, please.
Okay, please start.
Sure. So, Pinaki, before I start, so I will say the statement and then others will ask question, right? Just to get the context.
Yes, I'm just sharing the screen so that the screen is in front of you
Sure.
and you can continue. Yeah, but keep
Sure.
it as small as possible, not more than 90 seconds per
Got
part.
it. Got it. Sure. Sure. Okay. So, yeah. So the one thing that really bothers me is I get influenced by people's words and behavior. I'll just repeat again. So one thing that bothers me is I get influenced by people's words and behavior. Okay. Questions?
Why it bothers you, whether you're not confident or whether you're nervous?
Okay. And Pinaki, I'm supposed to answer that, or like is it just question?
See, the questions are important. So do not ask questions based on your own assumptions. Like you are talking about bothered, you are talking about nervous. These are your assumptions. Just ask the questions as it is being shown on the screen. आप इसी में से एक सवाल उठा के पूछो for whatever you want to get more clarity about. Okay, stick to these questions. That's it.
What make you think so? How do you know?
I don't feel comfortable at times.
Does it happen with all or only to specific people it happens with?
Specific people.
Okay.
What would happen if you are not nervous? You're confident enough?
A better connect with the other person.
Yeah, catch yourself. Don't use the word confident. He didn't use the word confident in his communication.
Okay.
Whatever the words that other person is using, you stick to those words only. Don't go beyond that. You can even ask them, what do you mean by nervous?
Okay, what do you mean by that?
So either I don't understand the context what they say,
Nee.
or go ahead.
Okay, don't understand what in context.
Yeah, or I don't have an answer to that question. And I think most of us are missing the golden question which Pinaki said, which is at the bottom of the screen. Right? So,
And what else? Tell me more.
okay. Yeah, so because I feel it bothers me, so I'm not able to make a better connect. And, it leads to a lot of time wastage.
Cool. Over
What
to Pallavi.
stops? Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Pinaki. Thanks, Pallavi. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm afraid that I won't be able to lose weight, however hard I try.
What makes you think so, Pallavi?
Because I have tried everything, say fasting, intermittent fasting, but I don't have control on my tongue.
So what do you mean by that?
Means I won't be able to get Madhuri Dixit's size, maybe.
Compared to old Madhuri, new Madhuri, or latest Madhuri?
Compared to present Madhuri. Yeah.
Okay. And what else do you think?
I think the size doesn't matter. The beauty inside you matters more. So I would like it to be, I'm happy with whatever I am.
Okay, awesome. All the best.
Thank you.
Pinaki, any feedback on the questions? Anything I can improve?
Yeah, this is perfectly all right. See, basically, it's all a matter of practicing. The more you practice, the more you will get to see. The whole objective is to create that turning point in life, not only for the other person, or not only for you. You know, उसको उस भ्रम से निकालना है, सीधी बात ये है, because that is the reality of that person, and you have to accept that ये उसका reality है. However, you need to get access to the actual reality क्या है, what actually happened, what that person is bothered about. And once you get to that point, then you help that same person to come out of it again by asking these questions only.
Maybe Krishnaji then did an awesome job. He was
Yeah,
able to took me
yes,
out of.
everything is hidden in these questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Pallavi. I mean, I was just seeing the slide which thanks to Pinaki he has put. But yeah, I mean, I can understand. Yeah, Pinaki, like you said, right? If I do this with my team, I see I can very easily establish a good connect. Yeah, thank you.
Every damn thing. See, NLP says you have all the resources, you only have unresourceful state.
These are awesome questions. Now
So
I'm
these questions help help not only the other person or not only you, but everybody in that room to get to their resourceful state. And once they get to the resourceful state, they will perform. They'll come out with all the solutions that is required.
Pinaki, I had one question. In all these questions, I mean, I was looking for a word. Maybe it's because of habit. The why word. I mean, there is no question with why. Any specific reason?
Yeah, the specific reason is why is a question which normally people don't like to answer.
Okay, got it. Got it.
So we avoid questions starting with why.
Okay.
Yeah, why and why not are the most dangerous questions. It can piss anybody off at any point of time. All right, so let us finish the session. So I'll have a couple of slides. So this is our breakout room play activity. Now, what are the benefits of meta model? Mastering meta model. Now, when you master meta model, what are the benefits that you can enjoy? You can have increased self-confidence. You can have enhanced personal growth, improved relationship, increasing motivation, greater resilience, achieving goals. Because now you have more clarity towards your goals. Reduce stress and anxiety, and increase creativity and innovation. This is the most interesting one. When you master meta model, you will help overcoming limiting beliefs and can open your mind to new possibilities that inspire creative thinking. You know, like there is this SWOT, SWOT analysis. They do these trainings in all corporate environments. You know, both the strength, kya hai, weakness, kya hai, opportunity, kya hai, threat, kya hai. So I was in one of the sessions, and when I came up with my own ideas, it was very interesting. I said that weakness is also strength. It's not like as strong as you are, or as should be. Yeah, so weakness does not exist. It's all strength. Maybe intensity come hai, itna hi farak hai, but it's all strength. It's like not so strong. So whatever is weak is all about not so strong. Jitna strong hona chahiye utna nahi hai. So weakness does not exist. And followed by threat. थ्रेट क्या जो आपके लिए थ्रेट हो किसी और के लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी है तो थ्रेट तो है ही नहीं. So what other opportunities you can see? Threat does not exist. What is threat for you is an opportunity for somebody. So threat does not exist. Threat तो ये हो सकता है कि क्या opportunity मुझे नहीं दिख रहा है. That could be a threat. But there is no threat. If you can identify any threat, it's not a threat. It's an opportunity for somebody. So I said SWOT, SWOT, replace it with so what, because it's only strength and opportunities that we are discussing. So you come up with some challenges. This is what is happening. ये हमारे यहाँ पे चल रहा है, तो immediately I am starting a conversation with so what? We are only talking about strengths and opportunities, that's it. Come up with all the strengths and opportunities that we have in this context, and let us work out which one would be the better one or the best one to go ahead with. बात खत्म. So this is what increased creativity and innovation is all about, overcoming limiting beliefs. So weakness and threats are all limiting beliefs. You think that that is weak, you think that those are threats. So when you overcome them, you open your mind to new possibility and inspire creative thinking. All right. हम इसको कहाँ पे अप्लाई कर सकते हैं? एनएलपी मॉडल, मेटा मॉडल वी कैन अप्लाई इट इन बिजनेस प्रोडक्टिविटी, पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट, स्पोर्ट्स एक्टिविटी में, स्टडीज में, एंड रिलेशनशिप्स. So with that, we come to an end of the session, and I believe I could add a lot of value to you today. If you have any question, you can ask me. If you would like to share anything, I would request you to share it in the group. Group में डालिए that what are the things that you actually picked up from today's session. Certain things which really interesting for you.
Sir, I love the idea how to make the other person out of the limiting zone, his limited belief, just by asking a simple question or metaphoric question. That was an awesome idea, and a question framed by you would, I guess, contain whole world in it, if that is the right vocabulary. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's it. And my thanks, I want to forward my gratitude to Krish sir also, because him only the whole activity, I was beautifully able to visualize the whole activity and grabs the most out of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you. And thanks, Pinaki, again, an awesome session. I mean, I can't stress, like you put right, the benefit of that in corporate ones, especially. I mean, even in personal, this thing, right? So, especially with teenagers, I know there is always this generation gap, but just asking questions this way, sorry, like you said, right? You establish a connect with them without agreeing or disagreeing. This for me is like it's a paradigm shift. So, and there is this Harvard Business Review article again, people who are interested, which talks about the importance of asking right questions and relevant way. So thanks, Pinaki. I mean, really.
And Pinaki sir, thank you from my side. It's always new learning. There's always some one or other thing to take away from your sessions. It's worth joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay blessed, sir. And happy Navratri to all of you.
Yeah, happy Navratri to everybody.
Yes, Vinay, last few words from you before we close the session.
Yeah, so thank you very much, sir. It was my first session which I attended, I think, because though I was always thinking to attend, but never done that. Yeah, so my first takeaway was that I was able to get a different direction to whole thought process of mine, which really was missing in between. Though I was knowing that I'm missing on it, I think it really helped me a lot. And thanks to the the people around, Krish sir as well, it made a difference for me. Secondly, I think I'm a bit impatient, many times. So I think it really gave me that the proper listening skills one has to really develop to understand the subject matter as well as the speaker is very important. I'll really work on it. And third important thing, which is the meta, which I like that, because that's something like how you are inquiring about the things, which is very important to understand the subject, speaker, and audience. That give me a different way of thinking or dimension as well. So thank you very much, and definitely I look forward to the lot of sessions like this.